Disorders. The label that we sometimes get when we find ourselves not being able to function in our society in the way that men expect you to do. Do you recognize this? Did you ever in your life got a label that said that there was some kind of disorder? Even the word disorder, for me, in connection with all the beautiful human beings that I see around me, it just doesn't connect. It's so weird. How did we end up in a world that we gave each other disorders? And disorder, I cannot even pronounce it well. Disorder, with my Dutch accent. I mean, order. So disorder means literally you are not able to stay in order. You know, maybe you are not able to follow the orders. How do you feel about this word? If you really, really tune into this and kind of connect with it, what does it bring up in your body? Or because for me, it's a topic that now it's so fresh and it's really in my system. And I notice a part of me, it's like trying to stop me from recording this video. A part of me is like, no, just come and make food and, distract yourself, you have to eat and maybe after you can record a video. And no, maybe first do this or first do that. But no, I really welcomed myself and invited myself to, even that I have these voices and I feel a part of me doesn't want to talk about this because this part is scared, it's scared of your opinion, it's scared of the people that get triggered and maybe angry, and is scared of the comments that I maybe get that, touch me in a way. And this is also a part that we got so scared in our world to touch each other or to be touched. But this is actually always a gift, because when you are touched by someone, you can discover a new part within yourself. Because when you are touched by someone, it means that there is a part that still inside of you needs something from the outside world, needs an approval. And this part needs to be seen by you, needs to be loved. But we are so used to avoiding all of these things. This is how we grow up. This is how we get programmed. This is how we get kind of put in order. Because if you look at a child, do you have children around you in your life? Like if you take an example now in your mind of the children around you in your life and think of how they behave in a day, how they are. Most children are just really free in expression. And then, we grow up, and because we trigger or we touch our parents or the people around us, because we are so liberated in our expression as a child, what happens then? Then the grown-ups, they start telling you, come on, be quiet. Don't do that. No, stop. If you do this one more time, you gonna... come on, don't be sad. Don't cry. No, you cannot be angry like that. Behave yourself. Do you recognize this? And how does it feel when I'm talking like this? The way I was just doing. How does it feel if you listen to this? For me, even when I was expressing it, I feel this kind of cramped up feeling. Because in one or the other way, you've experienced something like that in your life, right? Like we all go through these things that we get limited in our free being, in our free expression, that we put, that there are people around us who try to put us in order. And of course, I mean, those people are not to blame. Maybe it were your parents, your teachers. They are not to blame because they grow up in that way. It's already for generations and generations long that this is happening. And if you are a woman, for us women, you know, as a woman, you cannot be too outgoing, too liberated, too fresh. And of course, there is already a lot of change in our world, luckily. And maybe even a little bit out of balance the other way. But for me, I really noticed this in my life that, you know, to go back in balance, we have to experience the duality. We have to go from the one side to the other side. This is how I experience things in my life and how I grow. And maybe in some extremes. But I really feel, if I look at the bigger picture, this is my soul's journey. This is the way my soul experiences, expands, grows, and brings the most value into our world, to be able to be here for you. And this brings me to the topic and to the label or the disorder that I got in my life. Not once, multiple times. And of course, I was searching myself for answers. I was searching myself what was wrong with me. Do you recognize this? You know, that you find yourself not being able to follow the rules, to not being able to fit in what society is expecting from you. And then this makes you feel small and, you know, you feel lost. You are searching. Lonely. Because you experience the world in such a different way than most of the people seem to experience the world around you. You really feel like, I don't really fit in, but, you know, just keep quiet about it because, you know, you don't want to be weird. Because our natural feeling, your nature, in your nature, a human, is not a species to be on their own. So we all want to fit in. We all want to try to be part of the community. And this is a healthy, natural way for humans to live. But because the community that we created, the society that was created is so fucked up in many ways, it's so toxic in many ways, of course you don't fit in. Because this is not who you truly are. But of course, you try and you try and you try. And you get more and more small, and maybe you lose yourself more and more because the more you try, the more you get separated from yourself. This is my experience. And to come back to what I was just trying to explain is that, yeah, I really experience that the way that my soul is growing in this world and expanding and learning and be a better servant of the world for you is by experiencing extremes, going from the one side to the other side, from the one side to the other side. And this is quite an intense life. But you know, you get what you can handle. Otherwise, you wouldn't get it in this life. Because I truly believe that when you come to Earth to have this experience, your soul chooses what he wants to learn. And maybe even the ways, you know. Maybe even some lessons specific. But if we go back into my human form, me as a little girl, as a teenager, being so, in a way, extreme and intense, experiencing the world so deeply. And sometimes making choices that in our order society, it's a bit like, whoa, impulsive. And I'm talking about the label borderline personality disorder. And you know what I remember from when I had the first time this test and I was reading what it actually meant? Of course, I recognize myself in this. And if you are a person that got this label once in your life, do you recognize yourself in that? But do you also kind of feel that maybe these are actually really human parts? And for the one person who is in his unique journey, for the one human being, it will be more than the other. But don't you think there is a reason why you are the way you are? But when you come as a child, do you really, really think that this pure way of being impulsive, of being emotional, of feeling everything so intensely and expressing everything super intensely? Because when you have this label borderline, you may recognize that you experience the world in a super, super deep way. Because one of the things that is connected with that is that we are mega, 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 mega sensitive. But because we live in a world and we grow up in a world where there is actually not really room for that, because we need to be in order. And if we express our emotions a little bit too much, yeah, okay, maybe when you are a child in the beginning you are allowed to. But really fast, you have someone in your life that is trying to stop this because they are uncomfortable, because those people are triggered, because they are closed off themselves by when they were growing up. You know, and their parents or their teachers or their people around them were stopping them from free expressing themselves. But don't you think you got this sensitivity because you have something to do in this world? You got this because you are here to bring something really important. And you know what happens then? We get stopped and stopped and stopped because there is no room for that in the way how we live in this moment. And you start doubting yourself more and more. And these beliefs get created in your system that it's not good the way you are. You are not good the way you are. Because every time you express yourself freely and truly from who you are, there is someone who is trying to stop you because they cannot handle their own uncomfortness or look at the part within themselves because they didn't learn how to take care of that. And no one is to blame. Like, I don't blame your parents. I don't blame my parents. They were all doing the best they could. And then it goes further and further. But because you were so extremely sensitive, for us who has this journey as a soul with our mission, who got once the label borderline personality disorder, of what kind of disorder? I mean, I'm not only talking about this, but if you ever got a label with a disorder, it means that you came here with a certain special way of being, a special expression that you came to bring into the world, a uniqueness that only you have. Your own true colors, but this got immediately stopped because it doesn't fit in our orderly society. or in the school system, in all the systems that are created. It doesn't fit there. So of course, when they try to stop you, you get separated from yourself more and more, and you get problems. Because then we kind of start learning that we have to keep everything within ourselves. Do you recognize that? That at one point in your life you stop expressing yourself freely, and you kind of became a bit more, closed off in your body, maybe separated from your body. And you start experiencing more and more uncomfortness in your life. When you were growing up, maybe you start, trying to search for distraction outside of yourself, or a lot of love outside of yourself, because you became so separated that, you didn't feel connection or love anymore. I recognize this. I lost myself completely. Because every time I was expressing what I was feeling from the world around me with my sensitivity, in our family, I could feel everything that all the people around me suppressed within themselves. I could feel this. And I didn't know how to deal with that. I was dealing with that in the way that I felt naturally, when I was born. But then, I got stopped immediately, and more and more and more. And I created this really, really, really deep belief that I was too much, that I was too intense, that I was not enough. I even remember those moments when I was a teenager, a little bit older, and I really completely lost myself in that moment. And I was searching so much distraction in men. I needed to love from the men because, my dad and my mom were not there. They were busy with themselves because they never learned how to truly be home within their body and to take care of all the shit that they were feeling inside. And I was feeling this for them, but I didn't know. What do I do with this? It's too much. So I closed myself off. I created these deep beliefs that I was not worthy, that I didn't have the right to exist. I created this deep, 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 deep self-hate. Because every time I was pure, someone told me that was wrong. Do you recognize this? When I was a teenager, I was feeling so depressed, so dark, so lonely, so lonely. And I tried to fit in all the world around me, but with the people in the village I grew up in, who were drugs users, dark, like right extreme hooligans. But all those people we had something in common. We were lost because at one point in our life, we lost ourselves because our pure expression got stopped. So of course, I had this in common with them that made me feel a little bit connected with the group because we were all lost and we were all finding ourselves in a dark place. But was it a healthy environment? Was I feeling safe in this environment? No, I was feeling so unsafe. But I didn't know how to give this safety within myself because I was not connected anymore. I was so separated. I didn't know how it is to grow up in a safe home because in our home I never felt safe. Because from the moment I arrived in this family, I started feeling everything. And then I had to go to school at one point. And I felt everything from the teachers and all the parents, and maybe the children were a bit less, but still, also they were already getting programmed and stopped in their pure behaviors, right? And taking things over from their parents without knowing how to deal with that. So I started separating myself from my body. more and more. In the nights I was astral traveling, I was getting out of my body. Because that was what I knew. I was safe in my spirit, not here in my body. Do you recognize that? Like, are you aware of some mechanisms that you created early in your life to save yourself? And that's like really beautiful that we created that for yourself in that moment, that I created this for myself in that moment, because that was the only thing you could do. You were searching for ways how to take care of yourself when no one else around you truly knew how to do that, because also they didn't learn how to take care of themselves and all the parts of being human and all their emotions and feelings and their bodies, right? So this moment that we were sitting at the table having dinner with our family, and I was going through so much because I was finding myself in so many unhealthy situations, attracting a lot of unhealthy men. I was using them, but they were using me too. And I felt so unsafe, but it gave me this short feeling of being seen, being loved. And it was not love. That's what I learned now. But in that moment, I didn't know. I didn't know what love was anymore. No one ever taught me. My spirit knew because we come from love. I was just always feeling angry in these moments because I just didn't want to really be there. Like pretending that we were this nice family and like having these talks. And I'm sorry, mom or dad, if you watch this, but yeah, you know that this is true, right? And I know you know that I say this with all the love because I'm super proud of you guys, what you are doing now and where you are now. Like we all did so much work. So in this moment, our connection is really different and really, really pure and really beautiful in the way we are able to connect with ourselves now. And this expanded so much, but in that moment, yeah, I didn't want to be there, you know. Always when they were calling like dinner is ready, I felt like truly. But then yeah, of course we had to be there because this was a normal thing to do. And then we were sitting there and we were having these talks, and then they were asking me, how are you doing? And I got so annoyed because a part of me just wanted to say truly, like, you know what? I just scratched these fucking symbols in my arm. And I tried drugs for the first time, and it made me feel really scared and like messed up. And I was going through these 2 days of all the hate that came up and all the darkness that came up, and I didn't know what to do. And the people around me I wasn't feeling safe with. They were doing their best, but they were, lost themselves. And these things, of course I wanted to tell all of this shit honestly, but I couldn't because there was no space for that. So I was trying to answer these questions a little bit like, to not trigger everyone. One moment. I got interrupted because the man from the place I'm staying, he brought me aloe vera, and I'm so happy with that because I burned my nose a little bit and my skin needs it. So I feel so much gratitude. Even that I was like going really deep into this story, now I feel a lot of gratitude again because, yeah, I have much more space within myself in this moment. That's also why I can be here and, share this story with you. But to go back into this moment of the dinners, that happened many times. I mean, this is one of the moments, but this happened many times because, yeah, I didn't feel the space. I actually wanted to express myself and I didn't feel the space. But then they were asking, how are you doing? And then I would react annoyed. And then, my dad or he would react like, don't talk to us like that. And then it started. And then I was like, reacting like that. And instead of having a healthy, safe situation where people would be like, hey, I noticed that you're reacting that way. What do you feel in your body? What is happening? What do you need? To truly feel the space for you in that moment. That you are welcome with everything you feel. That you are welcome with who you are. purely in that exact moment. But no, they couldn't deal with that, because it was triggering things within themselves from what they suppressed from their own childhood and growing up. So what happened was that, my dad sometimes he started putting his authority, like, you cannot talk to us like that. And that was the way how he knew. Like now it's totally different, but back then, yeah, he was trying. But he didn't know how. So he would respond like that, and then I would be like, no, what? So, and then it would start. And then at this moment, I could feel it was just such deep, intense feeling that would come up because all those emotions that were stored that want to come out in this moment, and it would be like, like this pan that you steam things, and that's like, I would feel like that, and then I would be like, just leave me now. But then no, because they were triggered, so then they would start, reacting from their own emotion and their own trigger and wanting to get something themselves that they couldn't give themselves. So they would be like, no, and rather you cannot, they would like continue, and I would be like trying to, okay, what do I need? I need to go away. I need to go away. So I felt a lot of times in that moment, because I knew I would gonna explode. Do you recognize this? Because this is one of the things that if you get the label borderline, we are not able to control our emotion, to control our anger. We have these explosions, right? And you cannot have that. These moments that, and this is one of the things that is connected with the label borderline. But is it your fault? Was it my fault? No. Because you came here as a super sensitive being to bring something to the world, to help the world that's so locked inside of their bodies and so afraid to express emotion. So you came with your extra sensitivity here to help the world, to trigger, to kind of free up the emotions. But then we got caught in the system ourselves. But you still today can help yourself to come out of that by being aware of this and by stop believing what they are saying, that you have a disorder, or that you are not good the way you are, that there is something wrong with you, because it's not. You just never learned how to deal with this. But there is nothing wrong with you, because purely inside, you are this beautiful light being with your beautiful colors, but they never got a chance to be truly expressed into the world. So it's all locked up, but it's never too late. By being aware and even you are already listening to my words. You are already receiving this message. This is such an important step. And what do you feel in your body when you listen to me? Because I'm talking with so much compassion to you. Because I see you and I feel you. Because I was there myself. And this is how we can serve the world. This is why you experience all of these things, because you are here for a bigger mission, to serve the world with your disorder, your experience of this disorder, with losing yourself completely. But you can find yourself back by connecting with these parts within yourself. And when you do that and create space and create more and more compassion, it is a deep journey. It's a really deep journey. But you already took the first really important step by being here with me. And then the more you go deeper and the more you free this within yourself, you can help other people. This is why you are the way you are. So in this moment at the table, I would feel this explosion coming up, and I was trying to, to take care of myself in this moment, what I felt purely. So I felt I need to go outside, I need to go away. So I wanted to step away from the table, like get up and go outside, because I knew I need to release this in my body, because I could feel my own emotions going up and exploding, but also the emotions of my dad and my mom and my sister and my brother and everyone who was there and who was like not knowing how to deal with this situation. And they were seeing me as, Malou, you are doing this. Why are you messing up our family all the time? Why are you creating these situations all the time? And this is the belief I stored really deep within myself. Still up to today, it comes up many times. And it's okay, because I'm learning how to connect with that. And it teaches me how to have compassion for the parts that you are experiencing too, because I understand. And this is the gift, the blessing that I got in this life by having these characters that are placed into personality disorder. And maybe you experience relationships that are so explosive and so, of course, because you got so closed off, you don't know, you forgot how to receive love. And at the same moment, you are attracting maybe really toxic people in your life, or people who are also not, who are mirroring this unsafe feeling that you grew up in, because this is what unconsciously you feel safe in, but it's actually really unsafe. So I was doing this. I was attracting these men in my life who were emotionally not available. So what this created, of course, was more and more and more explosions. And then it was like, yeah, but you have the personality disorder. It's the borderline, that you have. Because this is what we all learn, that this is part of this personality disorder. And it's always easier to blame someone, right? Outside of yourself. So, of course, my boyfriends, they didn't know how to deal with it. And then I was exploding because I was feeling and expressing my own everything that I brought up and from the world around me, but also from them. And of course, I attracted these men in my life to create these situations, to learn and to grow from. But we are growing and learning together in this. But for them in that moment, it also was easier. And I don't blame them. I feel a lot of love, because I'm super grateful for all the people that were in my life, because I learned and I grow and I expand. They helped me all to be here sitting with you and talking to you. They helped me to having to go really, really, really deep into this shit, because I reached moments that I couldn't handle this anymore. I didn't want to be here anymore. I didn't want to live in this fucking world, because I was so locked up and so confused and so lost. But my soul was strong. My light is strong. Your light is strong. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here and watch this video. You can step out of that and start changing your direction. Take a step by starting to feel that you are not wrong. There is nothing wrong with you. And disorder, this label, is something that's created by this society that's fucked up. That's not natural, not pure. It's not loving. How can you take something for truth that is created, that comes from this super toxic, unhealthy system? You know who you are. You are love. You are light. You have feelings and they are real. And it's okay to express them. And when you free yourself more and more, you will learn how to express them in a healthy way. And this is a journey. But no one taught you. The system is not designed to teach you this. Is that your fault? No, it's not your fault. So you are not this label, you are not this disorder, and you can step out of that by taking the first steps, and you are already doing that now by being here. So I'm super proud of you. I feel you, I see you, I love you. I love you truly. Because I know from my own experience that this path is fucking hard. You didn't take the easiest path. Your soul took really, really deep path. And every person who got this disorder and really felt themselves lost in that and start believing this in deep ways and created this belief that there was something really wrong with you. You're messed up because you don't fit in the school system. You don't fit in. They need to give you medication. Your parents are struggling with you. Of course you create this, but it's not the reality. It was not your fault. It was not my fault. And also in these relationships, it was not you, beautiful woman or man who had the label borderline personality disorder. Because I still hear, that's also why I'm super scared to share about this. Because there is this deep, deep, deep fucked up energy around it. I still hear it so many times. When this word comes up, there is this negative. But does that make you a bad person? No. Yeah, of course. You did things maybe not in a really good way. And of course, you created situations that you exploded. But the people who were touched by that and didn't know how to deal with that in that moment, they were themselves lost. Because if they really were connected with their own emotions and they were carrying their own shit, they would be able to deal with you, to be there for you in that moment. But the reason that they couldn't be there for you in these moments, and these moments would explode even more, that doesn't say only something about you, that says something about them too. But because this belief is created around this, it's super easy to blame us. It's super easy to blame someone, you know. Wow. So in this moment at the dinner table, I felt I need to go outside. And what happened then? My dad started using his authority as a parent, because that's what he learned. You need to, your children, you need to teach them that you are the one, you're right. And luckily now and today it's different. Luckily we learned, we treat our children already in a different way. But when I was growing up, I'm from 1987. I wonder if you are watching this, you are from 1987. Let me know if you recognize this. But in that moment, yeah, they were programmed to feed us milk and all of these things. And we had to sit at the table until we finished all of these things that they were telling us we needed to eat and to drink. Because that's what the television people and the government told them that was good. And then we were getting all of these problems in my body. I mean, I was having so many problems in my body because of this drinking milk. And I didn't want to, but they were telling me you have to. And in that moment that I felt this explosion coming, I wanted to take care of myself and go outside to release. But I was not allowed to. So they were telling me with their authority, you are staying at the table. And I was like, but no. So I wanted to stand up. You are staying at the table. And otherwise, and what does this? So in that moment, I started feeling even more lost because I tried to take care of myself. And even that was not right. Even with that, I was doing something wrong. So what happens? All of this shit expand even more. And then, bam, I explode because it was too much to handle. Do you recognize this? You explode. And then you get blank. So just because your body needs to release. So what happens? You just grasp the first thing that comes up, and maybe it's like a plate and you throw it, or you start screaming. And this shocks the people around you so much because they are not used to this and they don't know how to handle this. And then it's like, wow, Malou. That's my name. Do you recognize this? Then it's like, wow, you did something fucked up. What is wrong with you? And I see my little brother and sister being so, looking at me so, because of course for them it was super intense too. They were just children. And then he said, Malou, can you not once be normal? Can you just not for once, not create this situation during dinner? And this is what I took and put in myself as a belief. So what happened? What do you think? What happened afterwards? I started going deeper and deeper in this dark hole, creating this deep, deep hate of myself even more. But it's not your fault. It was not my fault. It was not their fault either. It's the fault of this fucking system that's created, where we are like, where they try to keep us small. And of course, they want us to think that we have a disorder and that we are not normal, to not step into your power. But this is a different time. It's time to step into your power. It's time to see the truth. To see why you got your sensitivity. And how important this actually is. And that there is nothing wrong with you. You are beautiful and amazing and worthy and so valuable exactly the way you are. But you have to do the work to learn again that no one taught you how to deal with these things. And you can, because you have the strength and the power to do that. And in this time you are supported because so many people are going this path now, including me. And I'm here for you to serve you. I'm going to share more about this. My own journey of awakening, stepping out of these beliefs that are so unhealthy and so toxic, but that are not yours, not mine, not my parents. Let them go. I will leave it there like this. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Full moon energy. Letting go what doesn't serve you. To truly shine your light, to truly live your power. I thank you so, so much for being here, watching this video up until now. And I'm sending you so much love, and know that you are not alone, and feel welcome to reach out if you feel you need support, because I am here and I'm creating ways to support you. We are doing this together. And even here with the videos, I will bring the support in this way. I love you.